Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today I am joined by the one and only Spag to bring you a very, very special announcement. You can see it on the screen. It's Red Bull golden letters. We wanted to finally give you a breakdown, the first information of this upcoming event. Spag, would you like to get started with what we have?
Yeah, so Red Bull Golden Letters, first of all, thanks for having me, Phi, again. It's good to be here. Hello, everyone. But yeah, Red Bull Golden Letters, once again, is taking place this year. It's actually Red Bull's first Tekken-only event that we did. We started 2 years ago, and it's been very, very successful. Really, really fun tournament. We'll kind of break it down a little bit as we go on, but today we're actually going to be announcing the groups, the pools of the tournament that's going to be taking place later on this month. 20 of the best players from around the world coming down to London town and going to be fighting for that Red Bull Golden Letters Championship, man. And we're going to be revealing the groups live here today with Phi. So yeah, let's get to it, man.
Yeah, very exciting. So we're starting off just going to do the format of the event. We're going to talk about the groups that we have put together and a few overviews of some of the players. You're probably familiar with some of them. You might not be familiar with others. And then we have a special announcement at the very end of it all. So let's go ahead and get started with the first group. Oh, wait, no, sorry, with the format. So first thing
of the tournament is going to be fun. So I guess let me just talk about the actual tournament itself, right? So Red Bull Golden Letters. Why is it called Golden Letters? What's it all about? Red Bull, as you guys know or may not know, they don't like to do things the normal way. You know, there always has to be some type of twist or something really, really fun when it comes to Red Bull tournaments. And the fun thing about this tournament is, so Red Bull Golden Letters is a normal Tekken tournament in the sense that, you know, you play first two, first three, whatever. If you win, you move on. You lose, then you're in the lower bracket, loser bracket, whatever. But there's another way you can win a set in Golden Letters as well. So if you manage to get either 3 perfects or greats or a mixture of perfects and greats, then you automatically win the set. Now, this counts even if you're, let's say, you're playing versus, let's say me and PhiDX are playing. I'm down 2-0 in the first to 3, but I had 2 greats already. In the final game, in the third game, I get a perfect or a great. That's 3. Even though PhiDX is up 2-0, I've won the set. I haven't won a single game, but I win the set automatically because I've managed to get 3 perfects and greats. Now, we've had this for the past 2 years, and it's super, super exciting. Really, really fun to watch because there have been times where people have won with the Golden Letters rules. Actually, the most famous one was Chicorin versus Knee. If you watched that one from last year, Knee actually won with the Golden Letters rules. They both actually they kept playing. They didn't know. But Knee actually managed to get, I think, 2 perfects and a great, and he won the set. So it's actually really crazy as well, and especially because there's a counter on the scoreboard which shows you how many perfect greats you have. Once it gets to 2, it gets really stressful for the players. You know, you start thinking, oh, damn, I got to get a hit in. I can't let my opponent perfect me. And it kind of changes the way that these guys play. So, yeah, it's super, super exciting.
Yeah, it's a fun way to kind of like bring the crowd along to having the golden letters on the display, because especially with characters now like Yoshimitsu who can lower their health, or even like June spending health, you can get to that great threshold a lot more easily than in Tekken 7, I think. So there's a lot of ways that we might see somebody set up a golden letter win. Obviously, that's very unconventional, but it's on the table, right? So that could be very, very exciting.
Yeah. Also, this year it's the only time for Tekken 8, by the way, because the question was, how was it? We've had it for Tekken 7. How is it going to be for Tekken 8 with this rule? We've already had 2 God matches in the Tekken World Tour on stream. So JDCR versus an Irish player, he got 3 perfects in a row in one game, and then earlier in Ivory Coast, in the master event there, Xiaoling, the Ling player, got 3 perfects in a row. So we've actually already had more perfects, I feel like, in this game than we've had in Tekken 7. And that's crazy to think about because, you know, with the chip damage and everything, people thought, oh, do you know what, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get perfects. But I feel like with some characters and their ability to be able to snowball offense, like Ling Xiaoyu, for example, you know, get you to the wall, spike into flip over, into mix up, and you're dead, you know, like, so I feel like it's easier to get perfects in this game. And I feel like this year we're going to see quite a few of them, man. So I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah, and if it's a God match, it could theoretically be a 1-0 end of the set. We could go home early, get dinner. That's that's really really
That'd
cool.
be insane.
Yeah,
That'd be insane.
So yeah, first to 3, the Golden Letters rule is in place. It's a super fun format. And the overall tournament, we have the invitees that we'll go over and the qualified players. They'll all be put into a round robin stage. Is that correct?
Yes, can be a round robin. And one also really good thing about Golden Letters that we try to do for everyone is that we make the entire tournament first to 3. So it's a round robin, which means that everybody plays everyone in the group, but also the entire tournament is going to be first to 3 as well, which is, always fun to watch, man. Back in the older Tekkens, especially in Europe, it was always kind of round robin. That was our kind of style. We like to do tournaments, and I feel like you get a lot of tournament experience that way, a lot of different games, a lot of diversity when it comes to the matches that you get. But plus first to 3 is always fun as well, because with these top players, we've seen so many times people are down 2-0 be able to make 3-match comebacks. So yeah, first to 3 the entire way as well.
Yeah, and especially I think with EWC doing first to 5s, we have this kind of people are probably a bit more open to different formats, right? The Tekken 8's a faster game. Players are steamrolling other players. I think it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah. I mean, look what happened with Yagami and Chanel, man. If it was a first to 3, first to 4, you would have been 4-0, 3-0, whatever. But you made that 5-match comeback, and these comebacks is something that you do see, with these top players, with their ability to be able to think on their feet and make adaptations. And plus, first to 3, man, it's more opportunity for that Golden Letters rule. I want to see chaos, man. I want to see someone get that god match or just win with a couple of games. I really do feel like it's gonna happen, man. So. I'm all about it, man. First to 3, I feel like is the way to go. I think players and spectators love it.
And speaking of thinking on your feet, you tweeted out that there will be no coaching at this event.
Yeah, that was something that we actually decided a long time ago, before all the talking about it's been a bit of a hot topic, right? But we decided a long time ago that wasn't going to be a thing. So Omid, who is the Red Bull UK gaming manager, I mean, me and you have been talking to him, right? Been in contact, and he's the guy that's I've been working with very closely for many years now, especially on this Red Bull Golden Letters tournament. I think he's watching the stream right now too, so shouts to Omid. But he's actually a player that came from Smash and from Melee, and they never had coaching there in that game. And so for him, it was kind of like a weird one. He's like, man, this whole coaching thing is kind of weird anyway. And I've never really been a huge fan of it either, especially because I feel like it's unfair when if you have one coach with one player, but the other person doesn't have anyone traveling with him, there's no one to coach him. It could be a little bit, one-sided sometimes. It's like 2v1 type of thing. So we were both in agreement that we shouldn't have coaching at this tournament. And I think the community kind of was overall quite happy with it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a super exciting implementation of the format. I think it sets a really good precedent, especially because there's so much discussion, but no real, anybody trying anything out. So I think this is so exciting, not just for the Golden Letter rule, not just for the first to 3, but also testing out no coaching, seeing how the players feel too. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. It's gonna be super fun.
And then, so unlike the round robins we've seen before, maybe say at the Tekken World Tour, this is going to be a set count priority round robin, right? So instead of in each game counting towards the player's score, that will be saved for a tiebreaker, including the Golden Letter rule.
Yeah, I think it's just more consistent that way, right? So it's we have the kind of priority on how people qualify, and from each group there's going to be obviously 5 players. There'll be 4 groups, and 3 players make it out from each group. There'll be 2 players making it out in the winner's side, and then 1 player making it out in the loser's side for a top 12 that will take place on the final day as well.
Perfect. Yeah. That covers everything I was just about to say. Yeah. So 2 to the winners, 1 to the losers. For the finals day, all first to 3 again through to the finals as well, right? So there's going to be no changes to the game counts at that point.
Yeah, I think it's just easy to remember that way. Just the whole tournament is first to 3. There won't be anything like top 3 is first to something. No, the whole tournament, day 1 and day 2, is going to be first to 3 the entire way until we get a champion.
Yep, that is so much easier to track, and that's going to be great.
Yeah.
At this point, I guess let's take a look at the groups that have been seeded and maybe talk about a few of the players, maybe people that haven't heard of certain players or are looking for particular storylines. I'd love to hear your input on so many of these. I've tried to keep track with it, but we've had so many tournaments this year. It's almost impossible to stay up to date.
Yeah.
So I pulled up Pool 1 here. We have Arslan Ash, AK, Kanan Trench, Yu, and Sour Piggy, who qualified through the NA qualifiers. I believe.
Yes. So this is actually the first year that we did qualifiers for the Red Bull Golden. Normally, what we would do is we would have invited players, and then we'd have an LCQ that would happen on the day one. Day two would be like the actual finals. But this year we did qualifiers, and Sour Piggy, he won the NA qualifier there with the Kuma, and it was crazy because he said himself he wasn't really playing the game that much either, but the way he played was incredible. Sour Piggy's been a guy that I've been in contact with for a very long time because, you know, the community back in Tekken Tag 2 is very small. We kind of all knew each other, and Sour Piggy's always been one of them guys that I've known for such a long time and have been in contact with through the Twitch days and Skype days and stuff. But you know, this will be the first time that I'm going to meet him. He's coming down to London, my hometown, so I'm super excited for him. And I play Kuma as well, so I'm just super happy that he won. But yeah, Arslan Ash, this will be his first time coming to Golden Letters. We tried to get him down to Golden Letters the past 2 years, but visa issues were a problem. But he you know, he let me know that he got his visa. He's super stoked about it as well. So this will be his actual first Red Bull Golden Letters. And I know it's funny because Arslan is like, he finds the format to be like the Golden Letters rules to be really fun and interesting, but he says it stresses him out thinking about it as a player. He's like, damn, I'm like, I need to think about how I'm going to be navigating the fact that I have to keep track of the perfects and greats, and he's just, you know, he's a little bit stressed about it, which I think is really funny. But AK actually decided to get AK down even before he won, way before he won Combo Breaker. So, you know, I wanted AK down for a long time. You know, this is someone that represents Southeast Asia at the best. You know, we try to get a lot of diversity when it comes to Golden Letters and people that we invited. And AK, you know, we invited him. He won Combo Breaker, and then I was like, "Damn, this is a good choice, man. He's playing really good."
Yeah, and to be in Arslan's group as well is kind of an early clash of that initial Combo Breaker match. So that's
exactly
pretty exciting.
The grand finals, right? So that's kind of storyline there kind of adds up really well. And by the way, guys, again, like I said, it's going to be a round robin. So every one of these players is going to play each other. Like everyone plays everyone in this group to find out who's going to be making it out. So we are inevitably going to get Arslan versus AK. That will be one of our matches that will be happening, hopefully on stream as well. So then Kane and Trench, of course, one of the best in the UK. I think, you know, he's the only guy from the UK and one of the only guys from Europe that qualified for EWC as well. His Yoshimitsu right now is on top. He lives just down the road from the Red Bull Gaming Sphere, so he's definitely one of the guys that we wanted to come down. And then of course you know, someone who's been traveling a lot with I think sponsored by Cloud9 now.
Yeah.
And just has a really, really fun playstyle. She's always someone that I really enjoy watching. I learned how to play Zafina by watching her because she's so good at being able to mix up all the stances. She's been killing it with her Ling Xiaoyu recently as well. And good to, just in general for diversity, I think it's great to have Yu down. It'll be her first time in the UK too. So yeah, we're just, I'm really excited to see how she can do. This is someone that I'm looking at who could potentially win with Golden Letters just because she's a Ling Xiaoyu player, man. I feel like that character has that potential.
Yeah, and this pool alone is already a huge character diversity pool. You have the Yoshimitsu, Xiaoyu, Zafina, Bear, and then AK usually running Shaheen, and then Arslan has tons of characters. I think he's been looking at Yoshimitsu, but obviously one of the strongest Ninas, if not the strongest Nina, right? Winning Evo.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really, really cool. Just pool one alone.
That it's a hard pool, man. But again, like I said, three players are going to be making that, one in losers, two in winners. If we're looking at it, if we're being like honest, I mean, Arslan, AK, probably your guys that you're looking at to make it out winners. But I feel like this year, nothing's gone the way that people have expected it to go, really. You know, there's always been some sort of upset. There's been some surprises here and there. So I'm looking at that pool. I'm looking at Sour Piggy. I feel like that's someone that I really feel like a dark horse. His Kuma is so strong. He could make it out winners, man. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. This is very, very hype. I'm, and it doesn't even get any, like, there's no come down. Pool 2 is also full of killers. Atif, who, not only is he, we kind of talked about it early on before Tekken 8 came out, that he's kind of the most aggressive player you could think of. Like, even in Tekken 7, which kind of limited in how aggressive you could be. I thought of Atif as someone who pushed the boundaries on how hard you could go. And then this game comes out, he's rocking Dragunov. It feels like every read he's making is faster, hits harder, and is just somehow always correct. This, I can't believe that. I'm in this format too, with the Golden Letters rule in play, he is probably the scariest to me.
Yeah, Atif is just that scary guy, man. You know, he plays this game almost perfectly. You know, it's obviously no one plays perfect Tekken, but he plays this game as it is supposed to be played. And I remember I was interviewing him at the EWC and just asking him about like you know, when it comes to your play style, like why do you play the way that you play? And like, because like this guy will drop combos, but he'll still be mashing when he drops and gets another launch. I'm like, what's going on with your playstyle? He goes, bro, that's just the way I play. And he's like, and I play Dragunov because why wouldn't I play Dragunov? You know, you got to pick the best characters in the game, and that's the way I've always played. Even if I have my favorites, Dragunov is the guy, man. He identified that early on, that Dragunov is the character to use, and it's good for his playstyle. And you know, he's going to be hopefully coming down and doing some damage at Dragunov. Talk about Dragunov though, JDCR as well, sponsored by Carmine Corp. You know, he's been doing his thing, and man, JDCR, I feel like he's really got so many fans this year from just his story, from the way that he's been playing, and a lot of people supporting him. I'm supporting him as well because I've always known JDCR to be that guy who is just so strong. You know, I started playing the game properly in Tekken Tag 2. This guy was unbeatable back then. But JDCR now with this Dragunov, I just feel like it's a matter of time before we start seeing him at that top again, where you know he's killing it. He made it grand finals with the last Golden Letter, so he's already been here and played in this format. So I'm expecting big things out of JDCR as well.
Yeah, when I was first learning the game, like learning frames and all of that, Korean backdashing and whiff punishing, to me that is JDCR, and I'm so excited to see him continue to develop his style in this game. I feel like he's so strong in the early phases of so many different Tekkens. So seeing him continue to adapt to how this game is going to play out, especially on his main character, is so exciting.
Yeah. And then Speed Kicks, man. Our boy Speed Kick. Bro, Speed Kicks coming to London. And this is also something that I've been waiting for a very long time, man. Speed Kicks. And you know what's so funny? What do you mean I got to play Active Butt? Dude, yeah, man. We're excited. We're all excited to watch Speed Kicks. You know how I invited Speed Kicks to Golden Letters?
No, how?
It was literally, so I went on Twitter. I was like, yo, Speed Kicks. And he's like, yo. I go, do you want to come to London? And he was like, when? I go, September. He's like, all right, cool. That was it.
Plain and simple.
Just like, yeah, cool, man. So yeah, I mean, me and Speed Kicks, you know, we've been boys for a long time. That's my guy, even if we like to talk shit to each other a lot. But it's been a long time that I've been saying that I want to see him in London. Again, this is someone that also started to play the game properly in Tekken Tag 2, so we kind of had the same journey together where we got to know each other quite well during that game, and then Tekken 7 did its thing, and then Tekken 8 now. So I'm excited, just as a friend, I'm excited for him to be here. But also, I've always known that Speakers was one of the best players in NA, especially if he actually likes the game, which he does. He loves Tekken 8.
Yeah.
I knew that he was going to be doing really well, and this was before his Evo performance as well. So for me to see how well he did at Evo wasn't a huge surprise to me. You know, he was one hit away from making top 6. You know, and that's the kind of. Yeah, that. By the way, never finish a round with a low against Keisuke. I realized that. I played him recently as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, Speed Kicks, I'm excited for him, and I feel like he could do some big damage in this group as well. There's not many Hwoarang players out there that are playing at his level, man. And he's got other characters as well. But yeah, Speed Kicks, I'm excited for him to be in London.
Yeah, and he's set up with, like, now that he knows the pool, he's set up to prepare. I think like preparation is the friend of most NA players, but Speed Kicks especially. So that is a. For me, especially as someone who's learned the game from him and has kind of adopted a lot of his philosophies to teach people, I'm obviously hoping he does well. You know, America.
Yeah, and I'm sure he will, especially with the preparation. This is why we're doing this stream. This is why we're kind of announcing the groups. And it's like, look, there's 2 weeks left, over 2 weeks until the tournament. So there's a lot of time for people to go over their group and their players. Because again, like I said, all matches are going to be streamed, and all these players are playing each other, right? So yeah, but we got to talk about it, man. Ayo Richie, the golden child, man, of the UK. He is the first ever Red Bull Golden Letters champion. And the way he did it, it was the first Golden Letters 2 years ago. And Ayo Richie, you know, we knew him in the UK as someone that was very strong offline. Online wasn't the best player, man, but when it come offline, he would be getting some really good results, top 3s here and there. But you know, Ayo Richie, he came to the LCQ, he won the LCQ, and that was a big surprise to a lot of people. Like, wow, you know, we know Richie was good offline, but that's crazy, right? To win the LCQ there. Day 2 comes, and he's got to play versus people like Joey Fury, Anakin, Super Akuma. You got all these killers, you know, at this tournament, and he just makes the run. He starts winning one set at a time, just winning. And then it gets to the grand final. He beats Anakin. He gets to the grand finals. It's versus Joey. Joey resets the bracket. right? And very quickly, it was a 3-0. A little bit of time to think. I think Joker might have said something to him. And then the final set, Ayo Richie wins it. And now from going from this guy that was unknown to the international scene, using Leo, a character that a lot of people said was the worst character in the game. I remember Low High's tier list, a lot of people saying it was the worst character.
Yeah.
But winning the tournament and shifting the kind of conversation about Leo, and also all eyes on him. You know, he won that tournament. It was a huge moment and a catalyst for the NA versus the EU stuff that came afterwards, because we started talking a lot of smack after that. You know, your boys lost, you know, Joey and Anakin. So Ayo Richie, you know, I'm excited to have him back as well. I've been watching him play on his stream too, and he's playing some good Tekken. So I'm excited to see how he'll do in this group too.
And it's kind of a fun run back of one of the early Red Bull showcases for Tekken 8, where Ayo Richie got to fight Joey Fury as well, right? I don't know if they've played since then.
Yeah.
So
I don't
the game is different now,
yeah.
obviously, but I think it'll be really exciting to see. It's kind of like a three-peat, right? The first Golden Letters, and then the showcase, and now we have hopefully them at Golden Letters again, pending how the pools turn out, of course.
Yeah, imagine if they play again, man. But you know, the good thing is that there are multiple players here who have been to this venue before, that have played in this format, in this tournament, and Richie is one of them, man, and he's a champion. He's won on that stage before, man, so I'm excited to see definitely how he could do. But the final player is the EU qualifier. He won the online tournament for Europe, and it's Nino from Germany, a Kuma player. So we had two Kumas winning the NA online qualifier and the EU qualifier as well, which is crazy. But Nino's not just someone that's been winning online, he's been winning offline for a long time as well. He's actually the two-time crossover champion. Crossover is a major that happens in Germany, and the last year he won it. It was in the grand finals, I believe. Cuddle and Shadow were there too.
Yes,
and he won over Shadow, and in a matchup which I felt like was the worst matchup in Tekken. You know, I think for Tekken 7,
right.
Zafina versus Bears is so bad.
Tekken 7 Bear especially was nowhere near as strong as it is now in Tekken 8. Yeah,
nowhere near as strong. But with Zafina, with her ability to launch with down 4-3-4, to launch with Scarecrow 1+2 and sidestep 1+2 counter. There were so many things, and you can't sidestep. One of the biggest weaknesses of Zafina is her lateral movement, but Kuma can't sidestep. But somehow with his defense and his kind of just his fundamentals, he was able to win that one and win the tournament. Nino is super, super strong. And again, like using Bears even in Tekken 7, beating some of the best players in the world. If he's doing that there, I mean, you could just imagine what he's doing now with this Kuma. So, you know, even though he wasn't not an invited player, the fact that he won that qualifier, super stack qualifier, and this is someone, again, that, you know, Speakix, Richie, JDCR, all these guys are going to have to prepare for him, because he's a dark horse here. Not much information on him out there, but he is a very, very strong player. I know all the Germans have been talking about it as well, they're excited to see how well he'll do.
From talking to Bear players about Nino, I've been told that even they're confused about how he plays. Like some of the things that most Bear players find conventional or expected or optimal, Nino will do his own thing and find a way to just get the win. I remember fighting him in the LCQ for the last Tekken World Tour for Tekken 7, and he was the most confusing Bear player I've ever fought. So I think especially in a pool full of these many killers, he's placed pretty well to do some damage. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. He's got a good pool there, man. I feel like he could definitely surprise a lot of people. But he's got a couple of Dragonovs in there he's got to worry about as well, with JDC on Artif, which isn't a great matchup for Bears. But that's the thing about Nino, man. Even if the worst matchup is presented, he'll be able to find a way to make it work. So I'm excited for that anyway, to see him play.
Yes, this will be really cool. And moving on to Pool 3, it doesn't get the hitters don't get any lighter.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a good one as well. There's still, again, this is a pool which I feel like has a lot of questions as well. There's a lot of questions about this one. So okay, we're starting off with Ulsan, of course. This man, rich boy Ulsan now, man. He won the EWC and he did it in with a statement too. You know, a 5-0 versus Artif, and we just had Artif as well. We just shown that he's going to be attending, and so a lot of Pakistanis are looking at Artif and Ulsan right now and hoping that is a match that we eventually see. And I think that, you know, with the way that these guys have been playing, they're in a good position maybe to be able to make it out of their groups and potentially play each other. But Ulsan, again, he was chose to get Ulsan down here last year. This wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna pick Ulsan because he's playing really good now. I chose him before Tekken 8 even came out to come to this Golden Letters. So Ulsan was always a pleasure to have him in the UK and have him in Europe, and he's just a good guy in general. That's my boy. So like. Plus, yeah, Ulsan playing so strong. I'm happy to see that he's got a lot of success in Tekken 8. So I'm excited to see how he's going to do. Not much needed to talk about. You know, we've seen how good he is. It makes sense that he's coming down representing Korea. But yeah, Joker as well. You know, he started off Tekken in the best possible way, man. You know, setting records, went to Pakistan, won a massive major there. Joker, he is the best in the UK. Let's not mess around. He is the best, undisputed. So yeah, Joker. I think this is someone as well who's no surprise that he's going to be invited to this tournament. But Jod too, you know, when it comes to Europe, I feel like Joker and Jod are number 1 and 2. With the consistency that we're seeing from them at every tournament that they go to, it might not be a win every single time, but it's close to a win. It's a top 8 at the very least, or top 3, or, you know, it's just very, very good placement. So I think like Joker and Jod were 2 players that were chosen pretty quickly to come and represent the UK and Europe. And then, of course, Anakin too. Anakin, he has come to every single Golden Letters. Obviously, he is. I think he was the first Red Bull athlete for Tekken.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, and Anakin always someone that is, you know, good to have at these big tournaments because he's such a professional, and I'm rooting for him because I think, let's be honest, he hasn't had the kind of start to the game that a lot of people were expecting that he would have, you know, with the level that we expect from him. But yeah, Anakin is definitely someone that I think is always a good person to invite to these things. And he, you know, who knows, with the more he's been playing, will he figure out slowly how to play this new game? And with the new Jack, we know that he doesn't pick any other character but Jack.
Yeah.
And I respect that a lot from him because I know that this guy can play every single character in the game. So he could just pick Dragunov, he could pick, you know, Nina or any other character and make it work, but he sticks with the Jack.
He's the loyalist, yeah.
Yeah, and when it comes to the matchups here too, Jod, Anakin, Joker, these guys have played each other like a lot, you know, when it comes to the biggest of stages, and Anakin's had successes versus these guys too. So even though Joker and Jod are playing really, really good right now, Anakin could very well make it out of this group in the winner's side.
Yeah, and I think obviously Tekken is a game about confidence, about, you know, how you're feeling and able, like how confident you can make your reads, how well you're reacting to everything. And I don't think that's a unique thing, but these players, especially when I think of Ulsan, Joka, Jod, Anakin, the heights they reach when you can tell they're feeling themselves is insanely high. We just saw it with Ulsan. We've seen it with Joka when he went to Pakistan and won the Baz Gauntlet. And Jod, especially, I was just analyzing his gameplay when he was fighting Bilal. There are these flashes of moments where he looks unbeatable. His pokes are always at the right time. His counter hits always at the right time. His movements at the right time. And Anakin, especially with his long history throughout, like Tekken Tag 2, even just winning majors back then. I think of all 4 of these players as like, we could see some of the most hyped Tekken ever if they show up and they're feeling themselves. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. And you know, Anakin, talk about the fact that this guy, I remember him going to, I think it was KIT or some other tournament, but he played Mokujin until top 8.
Oh my God.
And he was in winners.
I didn't know that.
He played, speakers someone else can confirm, 100% I was watching it. He played Mokujin until it got to top 8. And then when he got to top 8, he's like, oh, I'll play Jack now, I guess. That's the level we're talking about when it comes to this guy. But he sticks with the Jack because, you know, I asked him, I say, man, you can play so many characters. Why? He goes, Jack's my boy, man. So I'm rooting for him. I want him to do really well. And I think with this group, you know, with the experience that he has versus the players, I feel like the player matchup is also just as important as the character matchup, you know. Yeah. And, you know, if he has that kind of mental edge over some of these players because he has experience, then he could definitely make it work. But the final player, he was the player that won the Japan offline qualifier for Red Bull Golden Letters, Shonen. He's a Junin Asuka player, and I remember watching him play at Evo Japan this year. And he was actually versus Gosain in the loser side, and he eliminated Gosain from the tournament with the Jun Kazama. So, I mean, Gosain is one of our best players too. So that's not easy to do, to beat someone like him. And yeah, I was watching him, and just a very peculiar play style, quite aggressive, but not afraid to take risks, and definitely knew the character so well. Like, so this is definitely a specialist. And having spoken to Margin Obama a little bit about Shonen as well, like, can you tell me a little bit about him? He's like, this is someone that he was always getting kind of gatekept by the top Japanese players at some of these local events, but he's always up there when it comes to like the top 8s and the top 4s and stuff. He's just having a little bit of trouble breaking through some of these top players, but then at the qualifier he was able to do that. And Chikurin was at the same qualifier, came 5th. So this is someone that's very, very dangerous, and I think that people should be excited because it's not a name that we often see, but this could be a moment that for him to break onto the international scene and make a name for himself. And I think when someone is out there to prove themselves, and they're on these big stages and that they don't get to experience often, then it can either make you or break you. It's like one of the things. The pressure makes diamonds. And we could get a diamond here with Shonen.
And Golden Letters has a history of that with Aorichi, right?
Yes,
like qualifying, like not last chance, but through in his region, I guess last chance. And this could be the moment where he has an Aorichi, right? And suddenly breaks through all of these. Like his pool is horrifying. These players are so good. So it would be really cool to see a cool story here too.
And shout outs to Shonen for his interview, because they asked him like, what are you gonna do when you go to London? He goes, I'm really excited to see the Eiffel Tower. So yeah, shout outs to Shonen. That's Paris, not London, of course, if you guys didn't know. But look, man, the guy doesn't travel much, man. Let him come. We'll show him. We must have an Eiffel Tower somewhere. We have an Eiffel Tower in London somewhere, right? Probably, right? I don't know. Anyway, we'll show him some nice places in London.
That's fantastic. And this will be pool 4 will be our final pool, but again, not slowing down at all in terms of player prowess.
Yeah, man. Look, CBM. This is someone that's been to the UK a lot. He's already won tournaments in the sphere. There was a big dojo event run by Chop, shouts Chop, and CBM won that one. He's quite comfortable. Actually, not a lot of people know, but CBM actually used to live in the UK. He studied English in the UK, so this is a place that is like his second home. So CBM coming down Golden Letters first time. I'm really excited for that. Again, this is someone that was I decided a long time ago was going to come down to Golden Letters, but also someone that I was saying I decided that was going to come down was Yagami from Australia. The thing about Australia is that ever since the beginning, they haven't, like of Tekken 7, for example, they haven't really had an opportunity to showcase the talent that they have. Because in Tekken World Tour 2017, Australia was actually grouped with Asia. So they were competing with Japan, Korea to try and qualify. And there was only 5 spots available for each region to qualify for the finals, right? So it ended up being like Nobi and Ni and the classics, right? You don't really get to see much of Australia outside of their major, BAM. But I know that these guys have a lot of talent. And then we saw at Gamers 8 last year with the Australia team. They managed to make top 8 with Bobby and Yagami and Wheatbix, and they just have so many strong players. Even this year, if you watch BAM, there were so many players that I've never heard of that were doing so well versus the internationals. And Yagami is definitely one of those guys who's just from the very beginning, he was killing it, man. His first ever international. I was actually talking to him this year in Saudi for EWC, but he said the first time he ever traveled outside of Australia was the Tekken World Tour Finals.
Wow!
So he's actually never been on a plane before, and he didn't have a good performance there according to his level, right? But I was so surprised that just like the amount of support he has from Australia, because they know how good he is. And then Tekken 8 comes out, he goes with Reina and starts just murdering people, killing people, man. He beat Ulsan twice, in tournament. He made Ulsan want to switch to Reina because, like, dude, I can't beat this guy.
Yeah.
And, Evo Japan, I think he was 9th. He lost Tekken Master in the end just before top 8, but
his run was crazy. Like, I kept seeing tweets and tweets and tweets. He beat this guy. He beat this guy. It was legends after legends. It was so cool.
Yeah. And it's not like it was a fluke or anything or knowledge checking or anything. Like, it's like he consistently did it. And then, of course, qualifying and getting a high placement at BAM as well. And seeing what he was able to do against Chanel, who was the BAM champion. He won the tournament in Australia and then managed to make that 5-match comeback. I mean, I think everyone now puts respect on his name. And again, Yagami was someone that was chosen ages ago because we definitely wanted to have someone from Australia, from the Oceania region representing, and I think we've got the perfect guy there with Yagami, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And then of course Joey Fury, man, that's my boy. That's my bro right there. But Joey Fury, he was in the grand finals of the first ever Golden Letters versus AO Richie, and he reset the bracket so quickly, man. It was 3-0, looking like Joey's gonna take the whole tournament. Then Richie managed to make the comeback, and he won the tournament. I remember speaking to Joey, and he was just like, "Damn, dude, like." I was so close, man. I wanna. He goes, if I play that guy, man, if I play Richie again, I gotta win, man. I gotta take it next time. You know, he wants that run back. You know, he's a competitor. He's a student of the game as well. One of the best as well. I don't know. I don't like people not being putting respect on his name, man. I don't know. I've been hearing some things, people talking, but I feel like Joey is one of them guys, man. Once he gets comfortable with this game, once he kind of because I know Joey doesn't really like traveling all too much for tournaments sometimes. If it's been a bit of a stacked year this time as well, but a lot of travel in a short amount of time. But when he's comfortable, when he is in his element, man, that guy is so hard to beat. For you, I'm telling you, this guy is so good, so good. So Joey Fury, I expect big things from him, especially if he starts whipping out these random characters as well. If he has the Paul Phoenix in the background as well, that he's been preparing secretly. Who knows? But Joey definitely is someone that I think that can go very far in this tournament.
Yeah. Once he dials in his process, once he's really understood how the game works, what it demands of him, how he needs to set and like program his mind to operate in the game, it looks so unfair. I not even just the way he played Marduk, the way he thought about Tekken 7 was so optimized for the competition, right? There's like people who play the game for like love of the game, long sets, optimization. Joey was streamlined for competition, and I think once he hits that point in Tekken 8, it's not gonna look good for for anybody he fights. It's so scary once he's dialed in.
Yeah, so that's the American I think that's the last American that we have here. That's because it's the last pool. So Joey,
right.
Anakin, Sour Piggy, and Speakers, man. So it's a good contingent of USA players that are coming down, man. So I'll expect these guys to do some big damage. Next there, though, the Sam brother, who maybe some people aren't really aware of, but is Sam Brothers he was a Bob main back in Tekken 7, and he's from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So when I went to Gamers 8 last year, the first thing I did is actually we went to Sam Brothers' house because this guy always hosting like sessions, and he's such a nice guy as well. Super hospitable. You get tons of people. Even this year, we went to his he has a farmhouse. We went to his farmhouse as well, and there was like tons of players just playing all night. And yeah, Sam Brother, I noticed from him when I was playing against his Bob that he is the most optimal Bob outside of like DBP. DBP is also really optimal as well. But I was thinking, damn, this is the most optimal Bob I've ever played in my life. Every single thing is so optimal. He hit confirmed up 4 rumpus 2, the belly blast like perfectly every single time as well.
Oh, this the jump and then the belly
the
hit
jump into the belly, yeah. And he hit confirms that every single time, and just his decision making is so sick as well. And I thought, damn, man, like I haven't really heard of this guy before like that, but man, he's so good. And he was actually representing Team Saudi Arabia there as well at Gamers 8. This is someone that beat Arslan Ash as well in tournament in another Saudi tournament when Arslan went down in Tekken 7, I think, with the Bob. And yeah, he's just super strong. And then of course in this game he's been playing Shaheen.
Okay, I was about to ask, who does he play? Yeah,
so he plays Shaheen in this game, and we saw him beat Knee at the mix-up this year. So on stream, Sam Brother was able to beat Knee, and then he also beat JDCR this year at the LCQ for the EWC. So he's already got big wins over multiple like international players, and the way he does it, like, it's just so fundamental. Like, you can't think that this guy is like cheesing anyone. He's not just going for 50-50 mix-ups, man. He actually just straight up is able to hang with the best players in the world in the poke game.
Something about the Saudi style, and I haven't done a deep dive into many players, but every time I watch one of their matches against the kind of like the poke heavy defensive players, I think of Arslan Ash, I think of Knee, I think of the Korean players, right? Something about the way they operate is like that, but a bit faster or a bit more aggressive and a bit like cracked with, again, like the hit confirms. I was thinking of like MD Luffy, right? Like these players dial it up just slightly, and it's so cool to see that specific clash because the Arslan style, the Knee style, it feels so unbeatable sometimes. And then you see these guys who kind of amp it up a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing his matches a lot in this pool.
Yeah. And it's the thing that these guys play a lot offline Tekken. When it comes to people in Europe and America and places like we're kind of forced almost to play online just because of the way that our countries are in a way. Like, I'm not going to be able to just walk down to Germany whenever I want to and play these guys. But, when it comes to these guys, they have a collection of really, really strong players in multiple regions. So, for example, Rife, we know Rife to be one of the strongest players. He's from Jeddah. Sam Brothers from Riyadh. So they're from the opposite ends of the country, but in different, you have pockets of these really, really strong Tekken players, and they've been playing for such a long time as well. So we're talking about still the older Tekkens. So these guys have a long history of offline top players that are just playing the game. And some of these guys have also been able to travel to some of these big events like Evos and these other big tournaments as well. So they understand international Tekken. There have been tournaments. JDCR went to Saudi Arabia back in Tekken Tag 2 and played a tournament there. This is way before, any of these big esports events. So they've had exposure to some of the top players, and just playing against him offline, seeing the fact that Joker goes down to Saudi Arabia so often just to train, because they're players that you may not have heard of. So many of them are so good. And there's a large collection of players that have such diverse kind of characters as well. So they just, when it comes to playing that much offline Tekken, I think that's the reason why someone like Sam Brother is at the level he's at right now. So
Right.
I'm super excited to see him play versus these different styles, because this is a very diverse pool, man. CBM with his Jin, Yagami with the Reina, Joey with the Paul and the Jack, and then Shaheen. But of course, the final player, Tetsu, he won the UK qualifier that we had, the double KO tournament. Yeah, Tetsu is, just looking at the way that he played that tournament, the way he was able to just like steamroll everybody. That's a scary player right there, man. That's someone that is in contention for best player in Europe right now.
Yes.
I was just watching because I was abroad. I was in Thailand. I was watching the tournament, and I was like, dude, like how does anyone beat this guy, man? And he's already, by the way, played in Golden Letters before. It was last year's Golden Letters, and he was one of the first matches on stream. I remember Chikarin beating the crap out of everybody in casuals on the Friday.
Right.
He 10-0'd multiple top players.
Oh my God.
Then I was thinking that this guy's got to be one of the favorites to win. Then Tetsu plays him and just destroys him 3-0. And I'm like, what the hell? So this guy's, when Tetsu's feeling good, when he's on his top form, I just don't see many players being able to beat him, honestly. So I'm so excited, and I'm very happy that Tetsu qualified as well, because I always love watching him play.
Yeah, his style too. It feels like the clean cracked style again, right? Like he'll be moving around everything. He'll be interrupting everything, and then suddenly you see a hop kick at the one moment he's supposed to, like, you think he'd be blocking. I love watching his Claudio, and he's been doing this kind of damage since like the end of Tekken 7, right? Like I think he went to that tournament in India, where he was in top 8 and he eliminated Knee when Knee was kind of like really at the height of his like strength and comfort in the game. And Tetsu's obviously been doing really well before that too, but I think it was cool to see him have that kind of international win, and I'm seeing him bring it back to the Golden Letters here would be really exciting for me personally after watching him for so long.
Yeah. It's just looking at the invited players, man. All these guys are really on good form at the moment. A couple of the players have not played the way that maybe they have wanted to, to getting the results that they wanted to. As you can see right now, they're all the invited players. But this is also an opportunity for those guys to prepare now. You've got time to prepare, and you know who you're going to be playing up against. Just to remind you again, guys, 3 players make it out of these groups, and it is round robin, first to 3. So every single set is going to be first to 3, all up until like the tournament's finished. It's first to 3 the entire way. It's round robin pools, which means that everyone plays everybody. So if you see, like, for example, Joey and Sam Brother, they're definitely going to play. Artif versus JDCR is going to be one of our matches, and everything is going to be streamed as well. Every single match will be streamed for you guys. So whatever matchup you're looking forward to in these pools, whether it be Arslan versus AK run back from Combo Breaker, whether it's Joker versus Jod, the European matchup, or maybe you want to see someone that you haven't seen before, like Sam Brother or Shonen, or Nino. Some of these guys, then there's something for everyone, man. And we tried to be as diverse as possible with the people that we picked. We've got Oceania in there, we've got Korea, Japan, obviously Europe and USA. We try to get as many people. Some we weren't able to get, unfortunately, but like still I think that this list is super, super strong.
Yeah, and you mentioned we want to show every single match possible. And if you've been watching Tekken streams throughout the past tournaments, even at EVO where they had multiple tournament streams, so many pro games go missed. So on one stream, it would be very, very difficult to get all of these matches. So the special announcement we like to make is that Red Bull has invited me to be the official co-streamer on site at the event, where there will be tons of matches on the main stream. And on the PhiDX channel, all the other matches will be played as well. So no match will be missed. There will be no gap in coverage for this entire event. And we'll, with my channel there, we'll be able to do interviews. We'll be able to do maybe little like special conversations with players. It's going to be a really, really cool time. And you literally will not want to miss either stream. Like both will have high value content that will be, I think this is going to be the most special event of Tekken 8 thus far. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, let's go.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me.
Gonna be in London. This is not your first time in London, though. You've been before, right?
That's correct. In 2022, I went to London for a little bit. It was just a vacation, but I ended up playing a couple ICFCs, I think, and it's a good time. Everybody there is so hospitable, like from the Tekken community, and I'm really looking forward to being back.
That's awesome. We're looking forward to having you, and we're going to have you set up nicely, like you said. Hopefully, you know, whatever you want to do, you know, if you want to grab some of the players, sit down, have a bit of banter. I might jump on a little bit as well and just, you know, just talk a little bit of smack, you know, if your boys ain't doing so well. But we'll see. This is actually the first time that I'm not going to be doing commentary either. Actually, like most events I go to, I'm doing commentary, right? But this is actually as an organizer, this is my role now for this event. Is I've organized this now the past couple years, but this is the first time where I'm just going to be focusing on making sure that the event runs well as well. So I won't be doing commentary, but I might sit down on your little co-stream and see if I can have a little bit of fun. But yeah, it's going to be amazing to have you here, man, and just you know, streaming again some of these matches that, you know, like you said, it's going to be impossible to get all these matches on one stream, but having your stream there as well to have these matches will be good, and having your analysis on those matches will be sick.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the opportunity. This is going to be so cool. Thanks for running me through all the players and giving all the background. That is so helpful to my audience, who I found out some people don't even play Tekken. They're like Street Fighter players or whatever, but they come just to get caught up with what's happening. So I think this is the perfect video to get them excited for Golden Letters, informed of who's who, and get excited for the event. Yeah.
Let me just say one more thing. Yeah. By the way, guys, there's not long until this tournament, but there's still a few things that we haven't announced yet, that we haven't talked about yet, and we can't talk about it, unfortunately. Now, I'm sorry, I have to tease you guys, but this stuff, I promise you, you're really, really going to like it. When I say you're really going to like it, you're really, really going to like it, man. So there's still more exciting stuff to come, more exciting stuff to talk about the Red Bull Golden Letters tournament. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for now.
Yep. Thank you so much for coming on, Spag. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And if you're watching from YouTube, please leave a like. If you enjoyed this, please leave a comment. If you got any questions, you think we missed something, we said something wrong about your favorite player, let us know. Complain. I love to read it. And subscribe for more. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.